Hi, everyone, and welcome to FranTastic InSights. My name is Joan Winchester, and I'm the Vice President of Strategic Partnerships with FranServe. FranServe, for those of you that don't know, is the world's largest franchise consulting organization, and our mission, quite honestly, is to help change people's lives through franchise ownership. And we do that by working with a great group of franchisors, like the ones that we have with us today, as well as franchise consultants that help guide their candidates towards great opportunities, like once again, the one we have with us today. So I am super excited to have what I think is one of the hottest emerging brands out there today, and it's the Creative Kids Movement Network. And we are so fortunate because we have the founders with us, Alex and his wife, Kate DeBiase. And super excited to have you guys with us. And welcome to FranTastic InSights.
Thank you very much, Joan.
So I'm real curious if you could kick us off with your story. I mean, it's great space that you work in, and I love your passion. And if you just tell us a little bit about how you got started and how you ended up where you are today.
Sure. So I started Creative Kids in 1998, bringing just dance classes to daycare centers. Um, it really, I never intended to start a business, I guess you could say. You don't think about those things when you're 20, but a friend of mine asked me to go to her daughter's daycare and teach a dance class. And really, it taught me two things. One is there was definitely a need for something like this in the daycares. And two, it saved parents so much time. I'm the oldest of four, so I knew what it was like to have parents all over the place all the time and just not have enough family time. So that's really how it started. But like I said, never intended to start a business. And one of the reasons my dad said, you can't teach dance forever, Kate. So I showed him all these years later, yes, you can.
There you go.
But it gave me an opportunity to go into sales, went into commercial printing, so learned a lot there before going into corporate training management. And that's really when I had my burnout moment in 2016 when I said, enough of doing all the things that you think you're supposed to and start doing something that I'm really passionate about. And that's when I took Creative Kids 2016, took it from a little side business with just dance classes, added yoga and some other programming, and replaced my income in less than 6 months.
Yeah, and how did I arrive here? I met Kate, of course, in commercial printing, and that's one area that we feel we're really strong as franchisors because we spent time. And when I say commercial printing, I mean, this was national reach. I used to travel between upstate New York and Washington, D.C., dealing with very high level corporations like Geico and their advertising agencies. So we know marketing and we certainly know sales. After commercial printing, I got into medical device sales, and it was the summer of 2024 when I came home and had my burnout moment. And I said, Kate, that business you have is absolutely awesome. We should look into franchising. And we had started toying around with the idea several years before, but for one reason or another, didn't come around to it until the summer of 2024. And it was last year in 2025 when we had started going through the legal process and we're like, okay, this is going to take a long time and we're very impatient. So we decided to expand into several territories. And it gave us an opportunity to do probably the most important thing I think we needed to do as a franchisor, which is really tighten up our systems and test our systems. And we became a franchisor finally. We were approved by New York State in early September, and 5 of those original territories became our first 5 franchisees.
That's awesome. You guys make a great team. You really do.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the model, if you
Yep.
would.
Yeah, so we like to call it a boutique business in a box.
Love that.
Um, These classes are run on site in daycares, schools, and other areas throughout the community. But I always say daycares and schools are the best places to start because you have a captive audience. So, it's a very low overhead business. You don't have a brick and mortar to maintain, and you're going into areas that, truly are seeking out opportunities like this. We have three unique programs that we have for kids ages 2 to 10. We have our dance, yoga, and our newest fitness-based MiniMovers program. So it gives franchisees an opportunity really to have three revenue streams, but also to work side by side in areas where they already have, competitors.
Hmm. It seems like more schools and daycares aren't offering those services or those curriculum anymore for children. Is that right?
I wouldn't, they don't offer them in-house. It's
In-house,
definitely,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. They don't do it in-house because, oh, a lot of daycares are struggling with employee retention. So they focus on the core things that they need to focus on and hire out for things like we provide those additional enrichment programs. And really, it gives the parents an opportunity to enroll their kids in things that they would otherwise outside of daycare. And it gives the daycares an opportunity to diversify their offerings and just, have that added benefit, something extra that they can bring to their parents.
Yeah, I would think they would welcome you guys with open arms for sure. So tell us a little bit about the ideal franchisee and the
Yeah.
ideal candidate and what that looks like.
So, we say this that we're looking for women, but it's just really who is most likely to be attracted to this opportunity. But we're looking for people who have some dance, yoga, or fitness experience, and ideally two areas they have some experience because this is an owner operator opportunity. And that's kind of how we've set this up and built this model. We'd love for somebody to have some sales experience in their background because the first, I would say 6 months to a year, it's a very sales heavy role, for lack of a better way of describing it. You're selling yourself and our programs to the daycare directors. You're selling yourself and the programs to the kids during demo classes, and you're selling yourself to the parents to try and get them to sign the kids up, at either registration events or pickup and that sort of thing. So that's how the business is built. Certainly in the early days, and as you have said many times, it's a relationship business.
Yeah, I think as Alex said, the beginning stages are, where you're really working hard to build those relationships. But once you have those relationships, it is recurring revenue and it becomes really plug and play. You're going in, you're teaching your classes or you're managing the business, and then it provides down the road a really great opportunity to have a nice work-life balance.
Hmm. I love it. Absolutely love it. So tell me a little bit about the timeline to open.
So we have a really robust training program. Our online learning management platform really has everything that someone needs to set up their business, and we walk through that with everybody. We go through the sales training, we go through some of the class training as well. They work weekly with Alex to go through sales training. We also have a training manager. Her name is Chris, and I always tell people she's been with me for 17 years, so she really knows Creative Kids inside and out. So every new owner is in great hands, and from the time they start, we start our marketing efforts for them, and they're able to get out and start laying the groundwork within their first few weeks.
So someone that becomes a franchisee today, is it realistic to say 60 days they could be operating their business, or 90 days, or assuming they're
They would
qualified?
Yep, absolutely. They'd be able to go out and start building those relationships, setting up their classes, and it's just a matter of getting those classes going. But yeah, we've had franchisees get started within their first 60 days as they start to ramp up toward their session classes or their summer or full season classes.
So tell me a little about the markets and where are you looking to grow?
That's a good question. So right now we're in very diverse group of markets, and like here in upstate New York, it's a quiet market, for lack of a better way of putting it. And we've got another one similar in Western Michigan, but we've also got a franchise in Boston. We have a franchise in Philadelphia, one in Jacksonville, one in Denver, Colorado, and they're all very different markets, and there's actually kind of different approaches to which talks a little bit about, kind of how this business is scalable. We've seen where, some of our owners will fill up their schedules and they'll not even consider hiring anybody for, and what is it, about 6 months or so. But every single one of our franchisees has now hired people. So the scalability is has been fantastic to watch, and the repeatability. We can literally drop this in any market.
Yeah,
But as far as target markets go, we've been looking in Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth area, the Houston area. We certainly want to grow in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Certainly want to grow in the Boston area. Um,
we're
and
able to franchise in 36 states though. So really we're looking to expand nationwide.
So is there any one that comes to mind that you really can say that this opportunity has really just changed their lives?
Oh, honestly, I would say there's a few
You don't
of
have to
them,
give me
but
any
on
names. You don't have to give
okay,
me a
well,
name.
well,
Just give
I
me the
would say
story.
um so am happy to tell you where she is because she'll say the same thing, and we actually did a case study on her. But our Boston territory owner came from public education. She was a theater major in college, was teaching theater in the public schools, and decided that she wanted something more for herself. And she's our youngest territory owner at 25, and she has just knocked it out of the park. She's doing incredible. She was our number one territory at the end of last year in the short time that she owned it. Um, but overall, I think that we have a really diverse group of owners, and it's changed everyone's lives in different and positive ways.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so young too, no business experience. That's amazing. So, I mean, what could be more rewarding, right, than helping to change people's lives through franchise ownership? I mean, it's one of our passions here at FranServe. I mean, we even taglined franchising is our superpower, right? Because we absolutely love doing it, and franchising makes that a possibility. I mean, many people think about it, but franchising makes it a reality. So tell me a little bit about the a day in the life, okay, of a creative kids
Sure.
franchisee.
We actually did a video on a day in the life, and
Okay.
it was on my territory, and we've done it on a couple others too. But really, my day starts with getting up, going to, after I do my regular morning stuff. I go out and I teach classes starting at 9 a.m. I have typically 5 classes that I teach up until around lunchtime. Come home, play with my dogs, get some administrative stuff out of the way. Um, Go out, teach some classes in the afternoon, typically 2 classes in the afternoon, and then my day ends teaching classes at 4:30. Um, It's a little different for me, I think, as a franchisor, because now it's like I have, my classes that I teach and running the business. But a typical day in the life really is you go out, you teach, you know, 5 to 7 classes a day. You have time in the afternoon to take care of yourself and manage things, and it's a great opportunity to have flexibility in your schedule and, like I said before, a great work-life balance.
Yeah, but just to
Great.
back up, uh, obviously for those in their early part of their journey, it's not as comfortable a pace as the way Kate puts it out there. And I love to make sure that
Yeah.
everybody understands that, in the early days, it's a lot of heavy sales work. You're going out and introducing yourself, going site to site, and you will even be doing demo classes, some teaching even in the early days. But
Yeah.
the early days, probably the first few months, you're definitely hoofing it.
Mm-hmm. It sounds exciting. What a great opportunity you guys provide. You have, thanks so much for being with us today. I really
Yeah.
appreciate your time. Any last thoughts for our audience before we wrap up?
I think the last thing that I would say is, for anyone that is working in the corporate world or any kind of job that you're not happy with, there's never going to be the perfect time to make a leap and do something different. So, if it's something that you've been considering, there's no better time than now, because you don't want to look back 10 years from now and say, why didn't I do this?
Agreed.
Alex, how about you? Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Honestly, I think my thoughts would be very similar to hers. I think the risks of not doing anything, I think, can be worse on us than actually just putting your head down and going to do this work and take a shot and bet on yourself.
I love that. I love that. Thanks so much, guys, for being with us. What a great opportunity. We really appreciate your time. Thanks
Thanks,
again.
Joan.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Joan. Thanks.